Hello, guys. Welcome to the first episode of second season of Thakkar show. We have Terence D'Souza sir on our show. Let me introduce Terence first. He's an advertising professional. He is creative director. He is a filmmaker. He is a writer. He is a musician and a brand strategist from Mumbai. He started his career by studying CA in his early years, and he worked as a copywriter. And currently, he is creative director of Hot Stuff Media Labs. Very different kind of experiences all put together with different perspective. Let us start today's podcast with Terence D'Souza. Very warm welcome on the show, sir.
Thanks so much, Jay. Thanks for having me on your show.
So please tell us about how was your journey from starting with CA to becoming creative director of Hot Stuff Media Labs, writer, filmmaker, musician. What has your journey been?
So, like most Indian origin stories start, I come from a very academic background and a family of chartered accountants. So by default, at that early age, you get nudged into taking on the same trend that your family has because you have that organic backing. And since I was in NM, which is one of the top commerce colleges, and it was at that time it just seemed like a very rational choice. There was nothing wrong with the choice, but given the whole academic path that I chose and given the interest back then, I always had a little calculative stride in me. So creativity wasn't really seeped into me at a very young age. It was very mathematical, very calculative, and which is why CA seemed like a proper choice. But what happened is, while I was CA is a very long run process. You finish your foundations and then you go into the inter, and it was PE2 during my time. You had to work under a CA. That's what you call as a period of articleship, which is a prolonged period. So while I was studying for my second year, I needed a kind of a side job. And there was a senior of mine from college who, now this again becomes an important part because he kind of noticed that I had a creative side, because of all the extracurriculars I was part of. So he suggested that while you are studying for chartered accountancy, why don't you just do like a side job? And he got me into an agency. So that time I worked for a couple of agencies. I used to work there a couple of hours and then go for my CA classes. But that kind of opened up a whole different world of advertising to me, where I got to see that there is much more than just doing accounts. And I saw how ads were made, how campaigns were made. I saw a very different structure out there. I met a very different world of artists, and it kind of piqued my interests. So when I went back to CA to complete my my study for my finals and complete my articleship and all, that added another layer of it because I happened to be doing audit, so I got a chance to travel India. So it's a culmination of academic knowledge. Whereas when I went to rural parts of India to do my audit, I got to meet people from different states of India. I went to villages. I went to the grassroots. So you would get to see different cultures. You get to see different sides of our country, which most Bombay boys, or most of the Bombay people or the urban people don't get to see. And then I realized that a culmination of all of this brought out a very strong side of me, which was storytelling, because that I felt was my most core strength. So while I was calculative as an auditor, but I felt I was much stronger as a storyteller, and I felt that doing something in these lines would really help me excel in my career rather than just doing a job, So, which is why everything I did eventually, writing scripts or making ad films or got into music, writing songs, creating campaigns, it all came from a core talent, which I believe was my core strength of being able to tell a story very, very well, So that kind of led to a number of things. And then from CA, I finished it. I came to advertising, and then I jumped onto filmmaking. I jumped into music, and I think still many more things I want to explore. Currently, with the core remains storytelling. I'm also working on my book. I think I'll be done with the first draft by the end of the year,
Wow.
and let's hope it gets published somewhere nice. It's a fiction fantasy, so let's see how that comes out. Again, storytelling being the core of everything.
Sure, sure, sure. I hope it would be a great seller. So like today in the morning, I was studying this book called Range by David Epstein, and there he was talking about uh, how people get success. He was talking as if like he was giving example of two successful athletes. One is Tiger Woods, and another is Roger Federer. And the both stories were different. One whose nurturing as a child was only done to play golf. From childhood he was taught golf, and then the nurturing and upbringing of the child was focused on to make him excel in one sport. And where the Roger Federer, where both are legends in their own field, and in his story he was like he experienced all different kind of sports: basketball, football, tennis, and then he started deviating towards tennis, and then he started his practice, and now currently he's one of the great legends in his sports. And now relating that to your story, it's like you have a good amount of experiences almost on genre, where the core remains the storytelling, where everything you all multiple dots are there, you're connecting it with storytelling, where whether let it be music, film direction, running campaigns, now you are writing a book as well. So everything you are connecting with one singular dot, that is storytelling. Now for a young person like me, how do we understand that what is the core essence in me? Like for you, your friend helped you in discovering that okay, storytelling is where you are naturally good in, and there you can utilize it as a major part of your career. So as a youth, how can one understand that what is the core strength of mine, and how can one start exploring it?
Okay, see, an exercise I do with a lot of my teammates, the freshers that come, there are three levels at which we exist, be it an organization or be it a human being or be it anyone. There are always three levels in which you exist. These levels have been explained by Simon Sinek, called as the golden circles. In the Vedas, they are called as the manan, kriya. Okay, so there are many names, but in simple language, okay, a lot of us, you can say 90% of human beings or people I know, our friends, we all exist in a level called as the what. Okay, the main question is the what. You will meet many people. Kya kar raha hai? What are you doing? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? We all exist in the what. People who go a little further than what, they question how. So they are not so much focused on kya karna hai, but kaise karna hai. Okay, so they are not so much on मुझे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी करना है, वो तो what है, कैसे करना है, do I want to, और they are not so much focused on मुझे फिल्म मेकिंग करना है, या तो मुझे गाना बनाना है, या तो I want to be an investment banker. But how is more important for them? The process is more important. The journey and the learning is more important. And when you push that another level. That's when you come to your core. That is when you start asking a very important question of why. Okay, and I feel the why is the most important. Ki kyun karna? This answer, trust me, I think less than 2% of humans have been able to answer, but it's a very important question. The earlier you ask yourself, it is much better that, okay, I might want to do something, and there is a particular way in which I want to do it. So mera what or how to answer ho jayega, but kyun karna hai? So purpose discovery is something every youth should invest in at a very early age. There are people who guide you in purpose discovery, or there are books you can read for purpose discovery, or there are examples you can take of amazing people, be it the guy who started Uber, or be it take people like Zuckerberg or Jobs. Jobs had Steve Jobs had his own purpose of his entire core purpose was think different, challenge whatever exists. So be it Apple or be it in Pixar, that's all he did. He just asked, why not? Why can't we do it differently? Same thing for Zuckerberg. I relate very closely to Zuckerberg's purpose discoveries because I believe my core function is to bring people together. Through my storytelling or through whatever I do, I relate to the
Hmm.
one theory. I like to bring people together and act as a core pillar in a team. So every brand, every individual, when they answer the why, I think it gives you a very clear context of why do I exist and why do I do whatever I do, or why do I want to do what I want to do, and then the how and the what just falls into place. So just like the example you gave me, there is another very nice example of Mozart. Mozart. If you watch the story called Amadeus, you'll see Mozart was a very talented musician. He was a natural musician, and there was another competing musician and many in the court who tried their best, who worked very hard, but their entire focus was on what they wanted to do was to be great musicians. What
Hmm.
Why Mozart wanted to play his music was very different, because he answered the why I want to play music is because give people a divine experience. तो अगर वो musician भी ना होता, वो अगर एक किताब भी लिखता, he would still be able to give people that divine experience. Even if he was a simple shopkeeper, he would still fulfill his purpose. So I feel that earlier you answer the why in your life, that will give you a very clear base for context setting, and I think that is where you start off to understand that, okay, you might be in anything. See, in India we have very convoluted academic paths, so
Hmm.
you might be in engineering, you might be in a very finance field, or you might be in an arts, but that does not mean that is your path ahead. If you at one point just stop and ask why, why am I doing this, or why is it that I exist, or why is it that I even want to do something in life, and you ask that, you will get a very clear path on kya karna hai, and then accordingly the switch just becomes much easier. I'll give you my personal example. I was pretty good at audit, and I still love analytics a lot. I worked as an analyst for around 4.5 years, and then the core question I happened to accidentally ask myself was, why am I doing whatever I am doing? How is it making a difference to anyone's life? Is it even making a difference? My existence, is it making a difference? Uh,
Hmm.
I I might just end up doing this job all my life. I might earn a lot of money. By default, you earn a lot of money doing any big job like that. But is it going to make any difference? And then I realized that there are a couple of things that were my core strengths. While I invested in music, I brought my band together. While I put a team together to make my short films, I brought an entire team together and they started working together. My oneness theory came very clear in front of me. Even today in Hot Stuff Media Labs, I like to think that I'm one of the core nodals, that brings the teams together to create great creative experiences, to create great campaigns, and that's what gives me satisfaction. So tomorrow, if you're working on a film, I like to be the core factor that brings my great cinematographers, great script writers, great actors, great musicians together. So together we create something awesome, and I feel I fulfilled my purpose in that way. So there are people who have different purposes. So when it became clear to me that this is what I want to do, then switching became as easy as just going to my parents and saying that, listen, I feel this is my path and this is what gets me happiness, and give me a shot at it. And it's been like more than a decade now I'm in advertising, and it's just been a milestone after the other. Like, you never regret that decision ever.
Wow. Like um, what I do, like in most of my problem solving sessions where people come with major problem about career. I don't know what to do in career. I have too many options, and I would like to know your review on that as well. Like what I generally say to them, because even the same advice of finding why was given to me by one of my mentor, Mr. Abhijit Pradhan, and he like I say them, like for example, what exactly, why, if someone say that I want to do IIT, I want to get a job, I'm like, why would you want to do that? Then they say, okay, I want to become an engineer. I have this dream of making some tools or making something or doing something good for the society. I'm like, just try and define what exactly your dream is, what fulfills your desire to do something about, then start making how can you do it. Like for example, if you want to save a life, then saving a life, okay, there you start making your path that okay, I want to become doctor, then I have to do medical, then I have to go through medical colleges, and then I have to give the entrance exam for medical colleges, and for there I need to study XYZ. If you can make this pathway, then you won't be dependent on the result of what you get in your, let's say, competitive exams. You won't be dependent on the path which you have already dreamt of, because the center which you have is your purpose of what you want to do exactly. I want to save lives. Now you can save lives if for example you say, if you are unable to get good marks in entrance exam, then you can make different path by going into maybe fire and safety, by making a building, by making something which actually saves life, by making a tool, or anything which you want. But your sole purpose is to, maybe let's say, saving lives. Like you say that your sole purpose was to bring people by storytelling, and then you found different medias of maybe music, short film making, uh, book writing and all.
Channeling the best in people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So see, it has to be a very qualified purpose. When someone says they want to save lives, you have to find out that are you okay saving lives as a doctor, or do you really want to save lives? Okay. If you want, in purpose, you would put that line as, I want to give people hope, basically, instead of saying I want to
Hmm.
save lives, I want to give people hope would be more of a purpose statement. Now, if I'm not a doctor, okay, I'm an owner of a kirana shop, or I'm just a secretary of a building,
Hmm.
would I still be out there giving people hope, or would I say, nahi, mera kaam nahi? Or if I'm a bus conductor, or if I'm a police inspector, would I still be doing that? You fulfill your purpose. Your purpose is agnostic of your career decision.
Hmm.
There was a recent survey, I think 2021 or 2020, where they did on how in an age group of 18 to 24, how people's priorities have shifted. So around 2 decades earlier, people had key priorities like I need a 5 or 6 figure paying job. I need so and so. By the age of 45, I need to be financially stable. I need a house, and I need to be well settled. So these were priorities. But of late, the recent survey, 57% of the youth kind of said that they want to make an impact on the world. They
Hmm.
want to contribute to society. They want to add value to the lives of people around them. So
Hmm.
in a generic, it's a very beautiful time to be in, because the generic mind space is shifting to a very intangible parameter as compared to quantifiable parameters that existed
Hmm.
earlier. I don't really want to work so that I want to build a house and I want to buy some property somewhere. Those are tangibles. They're no longer the priorities right now. I want to contribute to that. I want to make a difference.
Hmm.
I want to be able to inspire people. I want to be able to bring people together, or I want to be able to inspire hope, as your friend said.
Hmm.
So these are intangible parameters that people nowadays are thinking on, and I feel that if you are still stuck in a very tangible parameter, a very quantifiable objective that you have, then you should rethink it, because you're still stuck in the what phase. The
Hmm.
why phase will always be an intangible. So the easiest way to know whether you are on your path to achieving your objective is just ask कि मैं जो भी whatever answer I got with my purpose discovery, can I put it into numbers? Can I put it into something tangible? If it's yes, it's
Hmm.
not your purpose. That is just an objective. That's just a goal. And goal setting is another exercise you can do by yourself. It has to be intangible. It has to you take. I don't remember the name of that lady, but the one who had Body Shop. She had a very different objective of inspiring women to be independent. The founder of Starbucks had a very
Hmm.
objective. The Uber founder, about how he wanted to create a world of commutation and make a difference to the world that we live in. So there are n number of intangible parameters that people should start thinking on. At least the youth of today should start thinking on. And there are its options are open. It's a bigger world right now, and I think it's a great time for everyone to really introspect and see how, even a very small way, you can actually make a difference. Even if you make a small impact in a community around you, you're fulfilling your purpose, and that should be more than sufficient.
True, 100%. So like when we talk about bringing people together, like you said, that you think one of your major purposes is to bring people together, and like what kind of skill set does it require to bring people together? Because it is uh, other than an intangible purpose, it is also a sort of skill set which people require in their life when they want to lead a group of people, where they want to bring people together to fulfill the vision they have for themselves or for this world which they want to accomplish in. So what kind of skill set does it require to bring people together and make them understand that this is your vision, and make them align with the vision you have in your mind?
See, a skill per se is more or less the two types of skill. Okay, one are inherent skills, organic skills, what's by naturally what you are good at, and one are skills that you can acquire. Okay, functional skills. Uh, as if you tell you, like, planning a project or project planning, putting a timeline to it, or budgeting. These are functional skills. These are things that you can learn. But inspiring a team to do that project very well, or getting your team to excel, or motivating a team to actually give their best to the project, there is no B school in the world that can teach you that. Same thing for music. Learning a software, composing those beats and loops and putting your synths and pads and chords and scales is something you can learn. Functional skills. But being able to just close your eyes and create that soul-stirring rhythm or melody, that is something no music school can teach you. Same thing in advertising. Writing, good copy, or creating a good design, or getting a great film direction, production. These are skills, functional skills you can learn from the n number of courses, n number of institutes we have. But being able to conceptualize that great line or create that emotion in 30 seconds, that is something that just comes naturally. So what my mentors have always told me is, recognize your inherent skills, learn a way to harness your inherent skills, and acquire functional skills to augment this. Okay, don't confuse both. As I said, the why and the what. So if you feel that you want to tell a story and you feel that you are a good storyteller, then I recognize that skill. Okay, Abhi, if I want to say a good story, I can't just go out there and just. So for that, I need to learn filmmaking. I needed to learn direction. I needed to learn cinematography. I needed to learn storyboarding. I needed to learn the way screenplays are written, because you might have a story in your mind. How do you put it into a screenplay? How does the character movements happen? Otherwise it remains in your head, and then you can't really bring it out onto screen. Same way for a campaign. If you have a great idea, you might have a great line. And this is more or less in advertising. It's very important. There are n number of people I know who have great lines and great ideas for campaigns, but they don't have the skills to express it. So that is where you learn research so that you can back an idea. You learn design so that you can formulate an idea. You learn PowerPoint presentations, and you learn presentation skills so that you can express an idea. So you see, there are two types of skills. One, people should learn to recognize what they are naturally good at. If you are naturally good at composing melodies, or naturally, if you can just sit and put some melody out there that your friends love, or even if you're an artist by default, if you are just being able to express an idea onto paper, that's your inherent skill. You just need to harness it. But you need functional skills. There are many artists I personally know who are brilliant artists. They can sketch brilliantly. They are very good, very imaginative and everything and all, but they don't have the functional skills. They don't have the skills of software, so they are not being able to put their work out there. Secondly, another layer is, I know artists who are very good, very imaginative, who then go and acquire skills of software. कि ठीक है, मैं इस पे बनाऊंगा, but they don't have the marketing skills because they've not learned digital marketing. So again, they don't know how to put their art out there. So at every level, you harness your inherent organic skill. Okay, now Jay, Jay has a skill. Okay, Jay's skill might be talking to people, or Jay's skill might be bringing out stories from people, or Jay's skill might be actually, doing research and getting amazing stories to inspire people. But if Jay doesn't learn how to create great podcasts, or how to create, add good music to his podcast, how to market his podcast, and
Mm.
those functional skills is what you need. So when there's a balance between both, na, that is where you actually reach perfection, and that is where you reach satisfaction. Because
Mm.
you end up getting frustrated, because you will have something in your mind, and then it explodes, and and that idea is pretty resilient, as they say, right? It will remain there. You won't be able to express it. You won't be able to bring it out. No one will appreciate it, or no one will understand you, because you
Mm.
don't have the functional skills. There are many people who do reverse, and which is the biggest mistake is they acquire a lot of functional skills. They will go to B schools, or they will take up Udemy courses and everything, because the trend is following. सब लोग ने digital
Mm.
marketing किया, तो मैं भी digital marketing course करूंगा, या तो I'll also study data science, or I also study so and so and so. ठीक है, but what is your inherent skill? Is your
Mm.
skill planning? Is your inherent skill creation? Or is your inherent skill management? First you harness that. No, if you are a very good manager, then you learn the skills to augment that. If you are a very good planner, then you learn the skills
Mm.
to augment that. Or if you're a very good creator, learn the skills to augment it. One thing I have done in Hotstuff Media Labs over the years, I have picked people and seen where they actually fit. There were many people in marketing who were brilliant creators, and I got them to shift to art. They were brilliant artists, I had, but they were amazing at management and amazing at leadership. We got them to shift to marketing. We got them to shift to project management, because they were wasted, they were confused with their skills,
Mm.
and we kind of take someone, you might be a very good artist, you might be able to create a very good design, but what if someone notices that you have amazing planning skills, you have amazing leadership skills? We take you, put you somewhere else, give you the skills to augment, give you the functional skills to support you, so that you understand data, you understand analytics, you understand budgeting, you understand presentation, understand rollouts, timelines. And then you realize that, okay, I was a very good artist, and now I have all these other things supporting me. So you by default become an amazing professional. And then that's how you exceed or excel.
Nice. But like, how do we understand like what are the inherent skills do we have? Like many a times, because in this world we have too many options and too many trends going on. Where let's say for digital marketing there is a trend going on, for art there is a trend going on, for content creation there is a trend going on, then for coding there's a trend going on. So in this multiple trends, when you have multiple different options where you think that okay, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that as well, I think I'm good in this, I think I'm good in that as well. How can one understand that okay, wait, let me see what exactly is my inherent skill, and how do I what practices should I do to understand that okay, this is the inherent skill which I have, and now I need to acquire the functional skill to augment.
Okay. This is an exercise that you can do. Okay. Write down your entire life story. Take a Word doc, write down your entire life story from day one, from the day you open your eyes. Just write it down. Okay, write down everything. Write down every happy moment, every birthday, every fight you had with your friends, every breakup you had, every time you got hammered, every time you won an award, every moment you're proud of. Write down everything. Once you have written it, okay, read it 2 3 times, and you will start noticing a pattern in your life. Okay,
Mm.
now that is a behavioral pattern that is inherent in. There are many people who have addressed problems in their lives in the same way over and over and over again. And once you read those patterns, you'll understand that ये तो मैं day one से करके आ रहा हूँ. You will notice that in any situation in your life, were you the kind who always was a support system to people around you?
Mm.
Okay, or were you a problem solver, or were you a go-getter? Were you someone who was DIY, never needed someone's support? You will realize behavioral patterns in your own life story till date. And that is what will really help you understand what is your inherent skill.
Mm.
So you don't have to go anywhere to find out. Write down your life story. You have spent at least 20, 21, 22 years on earth, right? You have been doing this. So once you map it out and you map out those behavioral patterns, you can also look up online how there are many ways to find behavioral patterns. This is an organic way I'm telling you to do it, okay? And it's helped a lot of people. You so it helped me where I realized that at any moment in my life, be it my family or be it my friends or be it my band or be it my work, whenever there was a challenge, I always managed to solve that problem by bringing people together. So if there was a problem in my family, I was the core factor that ensured that things don't go out of hand by bringing them together. If there was a problem in my friend circle, I was the core middle ground that brought them together. So I realized this is what I've been doing since I'm a kid. So that is something I should be doing at work also. So if there is ever a challenging task in front of us, I will remain that anchor in my team that brings my team together so that we achieve the set objectives. And this, there we it's some people find out that they have always been motivators to others. Some people have found out they've always been mentors. By default, day one say matlab to their younger sister or to their friends or to their colleagues. By default, they have been mentoring. As simple as planning a birthday party or as simple as planning a Goa trip. You just experiment, put an experiment. In a Goa trip, only you will find out the behaviors of your group. There will be one person who will be waiting for instructions. There will be one person who will take the initiative and remove the rates of tickets and all and, plan everything out. There will be one person who won't do anything. These, these are the behaviors that you see in people that have inherent natural behaviors, and that is what they should harness. Another way of doing this, a more scientific approach, is you can take the Myers-Briggs test. Okay, so that is a test that actually asks you to answer, and it's available for free online. It's a research-based test where you answer a certain personality-based questions, and they believe that everyone falls into 16 personality types. Their types are commander, captain, architect, counselor. They have different personality types. And you can take the test, you can find out your inherent personality type, and based on your personality type, they will tell you a kind of professional trait that you should harness and explore. So these are two ways. Try the organic way. It's a lot of fun because it's introspecting on your own life, and you will realize how it's something that you don't have the joy of understanding that I don't have to go and learn something new. I have been doing this for 20 plus years. जब से पैदा हुआ हूँ, I have been doing this right now. I just have to get paid for doing this. So it's like that. Otherwise, you do it in Myers-Briggs and you understand how it is. Things like these seem philosophical when you try to tell someone. Everyone is very used to very informative game. मेरे को पता है, and they want flowcharts, but philosophy is core foundation of everything we do.
True, 100%. And like writing down your whole life and reading out again and again, it like that exercise not only solves the purpose of okay, what exactly I'm good at. That also tells you a lot about what kind of thought process you've been following till now. Like in many cases when I do problem solving, I ask them about their past a little bit, and when I hear their past, I think that okay, these past events are the reason, the kind of mindset this person has formed, and because of this mindset, that person is facing such kind of problems. So when they go through their life twice or thrice, they also understand that okay, this is the mindset I have formed, and maybe because of this I'm facing such kind of issues, and that also comes down and solves some of their problem which they might whose solution they might have not got with help of their friends and family.
Yeah, it's your nocturnal it's your natural instinct, right? Like tigers don't have a very different way of hunting, or elephants don't have a very different behavior. They all follow what's natural, what's inherent to them. So human beings also are like that. We all have a very inherent trait, and just need to identify it and just need to harness it. That's nothing new to be learned. Everything else lies in the how and the what, which will flow once you get these basics right.
True, 100%. And another problem which I have seen among youngsters and also the elder generation, which mostly advises to them, is like, do not change your career paths. Like if you have chosen a certain career path, then just stick with it, be with that, do not change, do not divert here and there, because that will, may lead you to financial loss, may lead you to, might lose all the success which you have gained till now, and all such kind of advices. So what are your takes on that? What would you advise to the person facing similar kind of problem?
See, I think mistakes. You need to finding or what do you say, accidentally getting on a wrong path, is the best thing that can happen to someone. If Columbus was on the right path, he would have reached India. You know,
Mm,
if it was because he was on the wrong path, he we discovered the new world.
mm,
Um, it is there is a path that was given to us based on the limited knowledge. They say, no, your parents did the best job they knew how to do. So,
mm,
based on the knowledge at that point of time, there were certain factors that influenced your decisions, and you got into it. Once you become aware, you become more conscious about who you are and the kind of person you start developing a personality in the later half of your teens, 15 and above is when you actually start developing a personality of your own. Once individuality kicks in,
mm,
that is when you start having questions about, because that's when responsibility kicks in.
mm,
Till that time, you are following a path of people who are responsible for you.
mm,
After 15, you start becoming responsible for people around you. Even your
mm,
best friend might be someone who looks up to you, and you will feel responsible for that person. So that is when you start questioning, that what you are doing. And I think one of the most beautiful lines someone told me, I think when I was 18 years old, was that if you do something that makes you happy, then there is nothing in the world that can stop you from being successful.
mm,
That line really got me to think that I have friends of mine currently. They are working for some of the biggest financial companies. I have a friend of mine who is working for a very renowned pharma lab in the States. There are friends of mine who are investment bankers, but I know that they want to do something else in life, but because they just stuck to the path that they were given, they're not happy. You don't see the
mm,
happiness in your face. And I have friends of mine who passed out in the same batch. They were with me doing chartered accountancy, who finished the course, and currently one of them is writing scripts for TV shows and OTT. One
wow.
of them is running his own travel company, and they are very successful. The thing is, they all focused on happiness. They all focused on fulfilling their purpose.
Mm,
And once you venture into that, once that shift happens, um, then, as I said, no, there's nothing that can stop you from being
mm,
unsuccessful. And you need to have certain role models. See, for me also, when I came to know Shekhar Kapoor, comes from I think he's a chartered accountant from the ICAEW, the England and Wales. So I realized that person was one of the best filmmakers I know. And there were Robert Plant, Mick Jagger, all finance professionals came into music. And you actually read about people and their origin stories. The more you read about where people
mm,
started out and where they ended up, is incredible. And then you get the motivation. There is not, it's very
true.
difficult for us in India when the first 10 to 15 years of your life you've been scared to, यही career करना है and यही follow करना है. The only thing that can inspire you is reading the story of other people
Mm,
who had brilliant jobs, who had brilliant career degrees, but then they chose to do something that makes them happy. As an ad filmmaker, I come across beautiful stories uh, of one of a lady from Tamil Nadu who was working for an MNC, and then she gave up that job because she's running a school for underprivileged kids in slums, and now she's opening a chain of those schools. I think she's in some 13 or 14 schools right now, about a chef who was working for some great five stars, and then he realized that back home in Assam, his original native food was getting lost. So he went back to the villages of Assam and he started curating those 400-year-old recipes to make it into gourmet cuisines. So you come across beautiful stories of people. The more you read, the more you explore the world, the more you travel, the more people.
mm,
And then it's a collective motivation that उन्होंने किया तो why don't I also do it? Why don't I give it a shot? And then success becomes second priority to happiness.
Wow. So when we talk about having motivation, like when you said about why, selecting your why. Now once we know why are we doing or why are we choosing a certain career path in our lives, I think that itself becomes a constant source of motivation, because majorly when I see why people lack motivation is they lack clarity of what I'm doing and why I'm doing. They might know what I'm doing, like okay, I have to do this next, I have to do this next, I have to do that. How I have to do, I have XYZ process, I have to do by this process. But why am I doing it, they don't know, because they do
Yeah,
not see happiness in that.
they don't see happiness and not their
Hmm.
purpose. And a very important part which you brought out, I'll tell you, is you have to start with intangible, but you have to come to the tangible. Okay,
Hmm.
and let me explain this.
Yeah.
Many people just knowing the why. Like if I said that, okay, I like storytelling and I want to bring people together with stories, and I sit on it, but I don't know what I want to do.
Hmm.
The how and the what also needs to be answered. No, that is where the tangibles come in. The best way to do that is once you have your purpose discovery, you get in the immediate next thing. If anyone is, if anyone's hearing us, and if anyone wants to get does the entire thing we spoke about, either the Myers-Briggs test or the on your YouTube channel, do give the link of the Myers-Briggs. They'll share it with you,
Sure, sir.
or even the story of writing your life story and finding out. Once you discover your why, then you have to get to the how and what, and for that you need a very important exercise called as goal setting. Okay,
Hmm.
because that's where you put it down to a science, that I might want to inspire people with my music, but
Hmm.
then I need to put a goal that I will do that by starting my YouTube channel, by releasing 3 songs by March 2023. Okay, now that becomes a goal.
Hmm.
So if you don't put that, then your why is just left with why. And once you
Hmm.
have that what, that I will start my YouTube channel, I will put out 3 songs, तीन गाने के साथ मैं एक म्यूजिक वीडियो डाल दूंगा वहां पे, and I will. So then your how becomes very. You can start working the how. You break it down into process.
Hmm.
Now this can be applied to anything. Be it you be an ad professional, you be an engineer, you might be a writer, you might be an artist, even an artist. Why? Because I want to. Um, Take the show people how beautiful the world really is, or I want to bring out the
Hmm.
beauty of people in my paintings. That's a why. But then
Hmm.
how I do it is I will finish 4 paintings with so and so and so people, and I will launch one painting every 2 months by the end of this year. Now that becomes
Hmm.
a very specific goal. So how I will do it is I will learn the skill, and I will start putting it.
Hmm.
So there are techniques in which you do goal setting. Also, I'm pretty sure you must have spoken about it in your other podcasts. I think SMART is one of the most widely used techniques. SMART is where, and whoever doesn't know about SMART should look it up. That is, it's a 5-point technique to set any goal. Okay, so it's specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and time bound. So once you put these 5 parameters in any goal, that's how you actually get to list down a goal and you address the why.
Nice. So it's like when you understand what you exactly want to do, then comes the part of execution.
Yeah,
And
if you understand why you want to do whatever you want to do, then
hmm.
you understand what you want to do. Okay,
Hmm.
and then finally the how will be answered.
Hmm. True. True. So it's like you just do not have to sit by, okay, I got my why, so I'll get everything on board.
It will never work that way. If
Hmm.
my why is that I want to like Nokia, okay, connecting people. They are that's their purpose, right? We want to connect people. How? What is we will have so and so and so and so phones launched by the end of next 2 years, and how is through so and so technology, through durable hardware,
Hmm.
so and so features. And also, every
Hmm.
company also does this in a very scientific way. The good companies do it. Some companies are just go with the flow. So that's again how you distinguish between corporates. We can talk about that in another
Sure.
session. Yeah.
Sure, sir. So, overall, sir, how was this podcast for you, and what would be your major learning you can you can share with us, like, this is what I would like to give, this is what I have learned, which is uh, at utmost value for you in your journey till now.
See, in my journey, I feel that it's when you focus on, as I said, right, when you make happiness a top priority, and when you start thinking outwards, I think that's when your life comes to certain peace. Be it as a professional, be it as a member of a corporate, be it as an entrepreneur. If you think inwards, that's just going to lead you to frustration. If you are an artist, a musician, or even a basic storyteller. Okay, if you question that, how are you making a difference to people's lives around you? And that's something I question in every job that I do. That if I'm creating a campaign, is it just going to benefit me because I got a job done, or is it just going to benefit our agency because we just get the billings done, or is it just going to benefit my client because unka business badega, or can I create a campaign that it benefits or makes a difference to someone's lives? Now, see, these four parameters are very different, and it took me a lot of time. Not that I just from day one only started getting into all of this. It took me a lot of time. It took me a lot of failures, a lot of experiments to understand that in very small ways. You're doing it through your podcasts, reaching out to people and inspiring people in very small ways. The little things we do once we think outwards on how whatever be it, you might just be a small investment, you might be an investment banker, or you might just be even a basically a designer, or even if you are something just like a mechanic, or you're running your own cafe. You just run a small cafe of your own. If you are thinking that how will my cafe billings increase, or how will I get in more customers, how will I sell more coffee and everything and all, you will only end up being frustrated. But if you start thinking on how do I make my cafe a happy place, how do I make it a place where people actually come and feel positivity, how do I add more value to my coffee that people feel more at comfort, how do I make my cafe into an extension of my home? If you start thinking this way, then you will automatically see the change, because it's a more gradual, intangible feeling that you are experiencing. And I feel that is what I have learned. It doesn't happen in every job. Again, it's not that every job I go out there and make a big difference to the world and become Captain Planet. No, but down down to the grassroots, small things that we do. If in any way possible, you just question that इससे किसको क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, मेरे कॉपी से किसको क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, मेरे फिल्म से किसको क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है. Or if I write a song, is it just a song I'm going to write and show my friends that see such a good song and everyone be like, wow, dude, amazing, and they'll play it on Spotify? Or is it a song that people will actually relate to, and I'll give you an example of a song we wrote. So there were people we knew personally who have been facing mental health issues, and we've even lost someone very close to us on due to suicide. So we as a band, we collectively wanted to address this, and we wanted to write a song about mental health. And at that time, while we were first writing the song, we didn't want it to be a song that just goes and tells people that yes, there is it is an issue and there is hope, and there's the typical songs that people go out there and everything. We actually wrote a song that was very dark, that kind of echoed the darkness in the minds of people who dabbling with mental health. And then many people told us, why are they writing a song this way? Because people like happy, positive songs. Don't write a song this way. It's going to send people into darker thoughts and everything and all. But our thing was that we want people to understand that they are not alone. Whoever listens to this song will understand that this is a collective chaos, and they will know that yes, others resonate their state of mind, and that is exactly what happened. Silsile was a song which we released during the lockdown for mental health awareness, and whoever has heard the song and whoever has written to us, they actually I have met people who have thanked me for writing that song because they felt that someone addressed the darkness in their head. So now it's just a song. We could have written any song. We could have written a very positive song, and we could have just made a video or whatever it is. But we wrote a song with a purpose. We wrote a song that actually made a difference to people's lives. So I'm saying now you see n number of songs that are created, and n number of songs you get to listen to every day. You can't judge good or bad songs, but not many of them are written with a purpose, and not many of them are written to stimulate some kind of feeling or some kind of emotion within you. Some of the songs are just written for songs. Some movies are just made to just make movies, but not there are directors, there are filmmakers, there are writers, there are even business leaders out there who are doing things thinking outward, and we should learn from them. And that's what I have been doing, and I think that's been one of the greatest learning.
Great, sir. And like also, I feel that when we understand this, the sense of attitude towards working that particular thing also changes. Like when you said about when you started understanding how would a person feel when they are going through the suicidal thoughts or when they are having mental health issues, your approach towards the song changed. Now your approach was not only limited to just uh, telling that okay, XYZ are the things which people are facing. Now you added emotions in that approach as well. You added the feeling of companionship, as if we also understand that you are going through XYZ kind of feelings when you have mental health issues. So similarly, when we understand what exactly we want to do in terms of why, our approach towards how and what also changes. Like you gave the example of cafe.
Yeah, and in a number of ways you can just do that. Another example I'll share is a long time ago we had a chance to do an event, and these are one of those high-profile corporate events that we keep doing and all stuff. And this was at the Taj. And normally, when events happen, and if you are invited to one of the big corporate events, you get a plus one or a plus two as an invitee. So that year, the brand that we were working for wanted to take more of a stance of doing good to society and stuff. So while I was conceptualizing an event, it just struck my mind that while people will come, the people who are invited for the event will come. They'll come to receive their awards, and the plus ones are mostly guys who just tag along. So why don't give them the plus one? We mention a plus one on their invite, but for every person who won an award, we will bring in a a kid from the shelter home for street kids. So we will bring them as a plus one for you, okay, on behalf of the company. So there were around 350 awardees who came for that event, and there were 350 street kids who came to Taj. Okay.
Wow.
Now, at the initial stage, this was an idea that was said no, because first of all, it's a premium corporate event. You don't want street kids to come in Taj, and event ka premiumness chala jayega and all. But there were some managers who believed that let's give it a shot. I think it might be a good idea, and we also didn't know how it would pan out. But when they came there, okay, two things happened that night, which really made me believe in what I was doing. One was the awardees really, for the first time, they come for many awards. They come for many awards. They come take an award. They'll meet the CEOs and all, take photos. They'll have their dinner. They go. For the first time, they felt a sense of accomplishment because they believed that because Meri wajah se some person, a street kid, actually got to come to Taj, and and there was a smile on their faces. And the second thing was watching those 300 kids walk through Taj, walk through that royal aisle, going up there, seeing those paintings and in that ballroom and enjoying that lavish dinner was beyond any pay that you or me could have got. So it was such a small suggestion, that let the plus one be someone like this. Now it happened that time. It can't happen at every event.
Yeah.
But at some point, things like this work, and things like this give you a sense of fulfillment. So that's what we should just keep doing. Yeah.
No, 100%, 100%. So, sir, how was this podcast? Like, did you enjoy it? What would be your personal advices for me after having this conversation?
No, I think it was a great podcast, and I've been hearing a lot of the content you put on your channel. I think it's really cool, and I really like the fact that you finally come on video. So we will get to see more of Jay also, and hopefully in the future, once your channel gets more subscribers, let's do a speaker panel where there are 3, 4 people, and you take a topic and get more experts, so we can all have
Sure.
collective opinions, because it's when there are 3 or 4 people, everyone have different opinions and it's debated, unlike the way they do in our news shows. I think you will be a much better moderator for more intellectual content like that, so that will be more fun. I hope you will invite
Sure.
me again.
Sure, sir. 100%. So thank you so much for coming on the show. It was really an honor for me to host you on the show, to get your experiences, to get your knowledge to the people who are listening. And I really hope that those who are listening and viewing us, they would really get a good impact from this podcast, and they will really lead a much better quality of life than what they have been leading till now.
Thanks so much for inviting me, Jay.
Thank you so much.